Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Invasive Species, the series where we run Hoenn mons in Kanto and Kanto mons in Hoenn. This beast, this absolute legend, requires no introduction. Onix, the Pokemon who was a menace in the earlier days of the anime but ended up, kinda strange in the games. This mon is the ace of Pewter City's gym leader, and for some reason, Bruno of Kanto's Elite Four rocks a pair of these when fighting types like Poliwrath and Primeape exist, but semantics, I guess. Either way, how will our giant rock snake protag fare in a solo adventure here in Hoenn? The land filled with too much 4x super effective? Probably not very well, but I'm excited anyway because I love this Pokemon even though it's absolutely awful to use in battle. Before we dive into the specifics, just a quick recap of the rules, though you can always find them outlined in great detail in the description below. Only Onix in battle except for the Psychic Gym where we'll use a throwaway tag team partner. No items allowed in battle except for held items. We run on max IVs, choose the nature, the ability if applicable, definitely Rockhead for Onix this run. We choose the hidden power type and we have access to a single egg move. Onix does have some strengths despite its reputation. Taking a look at these base stats on display here, we have phenomenal physical defense and our speed's not bad either. And that's about it for good stats. You want to look at this thing and tell me that this colossal beast made of rock has the same attack power as a Pidgey? Suspension of disbelief only goes so far, but hey, that's what we got. Our terrible special defense means that water and grass moves are a death sentence, and thankfully there aren't many of the latter here in Hoenn. Even types who resist like fire are also going to deal a lot of damage to us. How about those level up moves? Nah. There's nothing too great on here besides Double Edge, which you won't get until we're 57. With Rockhead, we won't take Recoil either, so that'll be fun to take advantage of. Base 120 power is pretty great, even in the hands of a weak physical attacker like Onix. Besides that, I think Screech is actually the best move on here. It does lower defense by 2 stages, so that's something at least. We're definitely gonna have to pair that up with, like, every attack we use in every major battle. I just can't see us ever getting rid of it, and I don't like Iron Tail, but we probably will need that move as well. When it gets to the TM list, however, it gets a bit better. Earthquake is a must with the same type attack bonus, and we'll need something good to hit Phoebe's ghosts with. Taunt could be useful, but I don't know if we could spare the move slot for it. Last but not least, our egg moves. Block is useless for an Onix, Explosion is unusable in this challenge, Flail would be better if we had an attack boosting stat move, so Rock Slide it is. 75 base power with the same type attack bonus and a chance to cause flinching, so at least we have that in our favor because we are kinda fast. It does miss 10% of the time though, but rock moves before Gen 4 all just kinda sucked if they weren't ancient power. Still, Onix should deal okay damage with this move when paired with Screech. We're battling every trainer en route to Roxanne, gonna be fun being medium fast, but for the most part it's pretty easy. As we are rock ground dual type, we actually match up pretty well against her. We won't be dealing much damage to her, but she'll be dealing even less to us. Since Nose Pass is Mono Rock, we can reliably use Rock Slide at least at some point in this battle. But a move that's gonna come in clutch is Bind. Yeah, I just said that, but just in case you're not familiar, Bind deals chip damage every turn for 2 to 5 turns. I believe it's 1/16 in Generation 3, and while it's slow, it is reliable passive damage if the move hits. The 75 accuracy leaves a little to be desired, but I'll take what I can get. And the fact that we resist every single attack and move on our team is absolutely massive. Combine that with our exceptional physical defense and an Oranberry just in case, and we can for sure outlast both members of our team. Geodude is actually the bigger threat as it has a much higher attack stat and resists Rock Slide, but because we resist all of Geodude's moves, it's kind of inconsequential. Although it's a slow fight, it's an easy fight, and I appreciate that. Well, unfortunately, I can't say the same thing for the fight that's about to come. Brawly with the fighting types is actually going to be pretty challenging. We're weak to his entire team, and we have terrible health, so even our high defense ain't going to help us all that much. And now, Machop likes going for a bulk up. We can use Screech to undo the defense buffs from bulk up. And not the attack, however. We lose half of our health, a little more than, thanks to a non-crit Karate Chop. Brawly heals after we cause a flinch. We get hit by Seismic Toss, a baffling choice because that's not affected by bulk up. Rock Slide misses, we go down. Though I have to say that first attempt went a lot better than I thought. I thought we were going to get one shot straight away with a critical Karate Chop. But we certainly need Machop's defense to be lowered, which means we're going to be taking damage. Rock Slide might not be very effective, but with the defense drops from Screech and flinching, we could get to Makuhita. Though there's no smooth sailing from there, Makuhita does have Arm Thrust, and even more annoying than that, Sand Attack. Brawly's AI does have a very strange quirk though, where Makuhita likes to go for a knockoff, which is special in Gen 3 and 20 base power on a Makuhita. That's something else we can hope happens. I mean, you gotta look at the bright side of these tough situations. And on the flip side, anytime we get hit by Sand Attack in this battle, like right here, we reset. Through many attempts, I have discerned that 3 Screeches need to connect. That has a 15% chance to miss. With Bulk Up, Machop will still have -1 to defense. Machop goes down in 2 hits, and we're going to do the exact same thing to Makuhita. It also has Bulk Up. We're going to go for Screech here. He goes for Arm Thrust and deals quite a bit of damage. Thankfully, it doesn't get many hits. Rock Slide connects, and we win. I gotta say, that could have gone way worse. That only took about 5 minutes in real time to get that result. Next up is the Cycling Road Rival battle, and there's no two ways about this. This fight is gonna be awful. Not only does she now have Grovyle with Absorb, she leads off with Wailmer and has Water Gun, and yeah, check out that damage right there. Thankfully, Screech hits, and thanks to that, Rock Slide's a one-shot. Grovyle's faster, so yeah, we have to leave and go level up just a little bit. Plenty of trainers for us to go fight still. In situations like this, I'll typically go to the Trick Master's little maze. We can get that free rare candy at the end of the maze, which is super easy to navigate. And we have a chance to encounter Plusle and Minun in the wild. They get pretty decent experience points considering that they're wild Pokemon. And we can see just what a difference leveling up makes here. Wailmer goes down, and we're in great shape for Grovyle. Between surviving Absorb and Screech connecting, Grovyle actually goes down in one shot of Rock Slide. We miss Numel, but don't get burned and crit with Rock Slide. I didn't think we would on the first try after leveling up, but I'm very happy that we did. Next up is Watson, and what you're about to see is actually the second attempt because we lost due to insanely bad supersonic luck. This fight's usually pretty annoying thanks to Thunder Wave, but Onix being part ground type means that he has to resort to Sonic Boom. With 77 health plus an Oran Berry, we can tank 4 of those. Voltorb isn't part steel, so it goes down in 1 hit. Against Magneton, of course we're going for Screech, we get hit by Sonic Boom, but then we miss Screech, he misses Sonic Boom, we connect again. We get hit by Supersonic, but ends up not mattering. We power through the confusion and 2-shot the Magneton. You might think that we're in the clear for a while, but that's not the case. Maxie leads off with Mightyena, who has Intimidate, and that's not great for an Onix who already has terrible base attack. Sand Attack too, naturally. Thankfully, Mightyena opts for Bite and flinches off a Rock Slide. Hey, maybe I'm wrong about this fight. And check out Magnitude 4's damage on us. Yeah, that's pretty laughable. Thank goodness for our high defense. And it's as if Onix heard me himself as he crits Golbat and one-shots it with Rock Slide. Okay, I thought that was going to be a lot more annoying, but I'm going to take good luck like that whenever we can. As for Flannery, not too concerned because she has 2 Slugma. They should be easily taken care of by Rock Slide. However, we can't use Screech on Torkoal due to the White Smoke ability, preventing us from lowering its stats. With Screech being a crucial part of our strategy, that is bad, but we can still hope from flinches from Rock Slide. That's a 30% chance. Gotta say too, Onix is going a lot faster than expected. We're gonna stop in front of Flannery, clock in here at 3 hours and 19 minutes. As mentioned before, she has 2 Slugma, one of whom she leads off with, and right away we critically hit with Rock Slide, taking it down. I'm pretty darn skippy we did not need that critical hit. Thankfully, the follow-up Slugma can be our test dummy here. Yep, looks like we didn't need that, that's pretty sweet. And this just blew my mind right here. We go for Rock Slide, no flinch. Instead of Overheat, she goes for Body Slam. We do get paralyzed, but 5 damage, yeah, I think we'll be alright. I like to think that Flannery just threw that fight. She was like, just take my L and get out of here. Next up is Norman, a parent whose awesomeness is on par with that of James from Fallout 3. Nah, that's pretty mean to Norman, actually. We have a Chesto Berry equipped because Slacking #1 loves going for Yawn, which it hits us with, but we've lowered its defense by 4 stages now. The Feint Attack deals little damage to us. Norman heals, but we take him out just fine. I accidentally go for Screech and eat a Focus Punch from Slacking 2, but we survive with 3 health, a testament to how great our defense is. Unfortunately, that noobish mistake on my behalf cost us the first attempt. If you're wondering why, I thought Slacking 2 was going to go for Feint Attack and target our much lower special defense. Well, the more you know, so we can pulverize Norman on this next attempt coming up right here. Slacking 1 we have down to a Science, and it's a flawless victory, thanks to our Chesto Berry. Slacking 2 comes out, I go for Secret Power, and yeah, now it goes for Feint Attack. On the Truant turn, we go for Screech, we go for Rock Slide, thankfully don't miss, and it's fully paralyzed. And from here, it's smooth sailing. Yeah, Vigoroth also has Feint Attack. We get brought to yellow health, but we're in no real danger here. We'd have had to have missed like crazy to lose again. And normally I just talk over the Weather Institute rival battle, but not this time. You see, it's just part of the Onix experience to have a lot of difficulty with fights that are normally free. I mean, yet Numel is no problem, but as Whalmer comes out, we get one shot by Water Pulse. We don't even make it to Grovyle. I gotta say, I sure ain't smelling what the rock is cooking here. And yes, it does take us multiple attempts just to get by the Whalmer, so we should be good, right? Nah. Grovyle's got Leaf Blade now. Doesn't need a critical hit, but it would have been kind of funny to see just because there's no kill, quite like overkill. It's like you can't even be frustrated by this. I was laughing so hard at this because I knew this was gonna happen, and it was just kind of awesome anyway. I mean, you really can't get mad at Onix if you're trying to play one solo. Every victory is cause for celebration. I'll give her credit, this was the toughest Weather Institute battle we've had here on the series up to this point. Next up is the Flying Gym. Nah, I ain't worried. Pelipper's got Water Gun, and that's about all that's a threat to us here in this fight. Case in point, Swallow's a one-shot, so is Pelipper due to us being faster. Even Skarmory is not that dangerous. We have Screech, we have Rock Slide, and Skarmory is just kinda messing around. Altaria goes for Dragon Dance rather than spamming Earthquake, and gets paid for that bravado with a critical Rock Slide after being healed. And I gotta say, if you're a fan of Brendan and or May in these games, you're gonna really like this run because this battle here, which I definitely never talk about, yeah, I wonder if we're gonna have problems with this one too. Yeah, Swallow's not gonna be a problem, of course, and Numel, I don't know why that thing's not a camera up at this point, whatever. Ooh, oh, we actually flinch Whalmer. Maybe we will get through on the first try. Well, judging by that damage on Grovyle, nope, there's Leaf Blade, and we... Wow, mark the date, ladies and gentlemen. April 23rd, 2025, Rosidor lost to the optional Lily Cove rival battle here in Pokemon Invasive Species. Onix, my man, you are bringing a lot to the show here. Well, that was certainly an experience. Next up is the Psychic Gym. I'm not that worried about it, although Solrock does have Sunny Day and Solar Beam. That's about the only thing I'm actually concerned about here. I mean, Lunatone is potentially dangerous, but as long as we target it first with Rock Slide and hopefully get a flinch, it shouldn't be a problem. Just a reminder that we need a tag team partner, and Meryl here will do just fine because it can spam Defense Curl and not affect the battle in any way, shape, or form other than taking a hit. And I gotta say, things are starting off pretty darn awesome here because Lunatone, we're about to teach it just like good old J-Lo that I love don't cost a thing. And judging by that damage on Solrock, it'll hit Meryl, or hit us with Solar Beam. Wow, Meryl actually survived the fight, and our protagonist didn't. Onix, the anti-plot armor. So we're gonna target Solrock first. Yeah, there we go. We should be good here, I hope. We can switch to Hidden Power, which is super effective, and Lunatone, thanks to wasting a turn with Calm Mind, goes down no problem. In what universe is the Weather Institute rival harder than the Psychic Gym? Well, this one, apparently. Maxie was surprisingly easy back on Mount Chimney, but down here, right before Groudon, I don't know. He has Crobat now, which will probably be faster, can flinch us with a Bite, and his Camerupt does have Earthquake, but so do we because we just got the TM for it. Alrighty, Intimidate, very annoying, but despite that, we still appear to deal about half damage with Earthquake, and unfortunately Scary Face does connect, 10% chance it misses. And well, as we go for Earthquake again, the damage actually isn't that great, but thanks to Swagger and not hitting ourselves, we have +1 to attack. Thanks, Mighty Enna. I'm sure good old Dwayne is quite familiar with the heal to face turn. Next up is Camerupt. We do not hit ourselves, and because it's part fire type, Earthquake easily one-shots. And as Crobat comes out, yeah, I think it's time to build up some heat here to get the little match a little more exciting. Look at how many times we get flinched off of Bite and critically hit. Sadly, there's no mini kicking out at 2 moments here. Now we get brought down to 6 health and finished off. Still, I think we should be able to defeat Maxie here now. It's just going to take a couple of tries. Having on a Person Berry for Swagger would have been a great idea, except this time around, Mighty Enna doesn't even bother going for it. We crit after that takedown. Camerupt survives a critical hit, only to go down to a follow-up thanks to Maxie healing him. Crobat goes down to 2 turns of Rock Slide, no flinch, thankfully. Yes, Dwayne, we can hear that crowd, it's electrifying, the intensity's really picking up just in time because we're about to make our way to Sutopolis, the gym where you're 4 times weak to every single member of the leader's team. And get ready for a 5v1 gauntlet there, champ. Now, you'll notice a slight deviation on our moveset here. We have Double Edge and Rockhead as our ability, so we don't have to worry about recoil at all. And the icing on top, we outspeed Love Disc and one-shot it. Well, that's a good start. Well, interestingly enough, Wallace sends out Celio, whom is weak to Rock Slide, so of course I go for Earthquake because I'm just so curious about the damage, and to my great surprise, we actually survived Water Pulse. One Rock Slide should do the trick, and yeah, we're gonna have to use Earthquake in this fight anyway because of Whiscash. And unsurprisingly, yes, Rock Slide is a one-shot on the part Ice type. Next up on the gauntlet is Gen 1er versus Gen 1er, as we've got Sea King here, but it just can't handle the smackdown being laid by a single Earthquake. Oh, by golly, you can see that poor Onix breathing heavy. It's getting real intense here. How much longer can he hold out? Oh, by God, he got a critical Earthquake on the Ace Milotic. This has been a real slobber knocker here as Whiscash comes out. It's got no chance against the champion. Oh, by golly, no, that's not enough to put him down. Whiscash stole the victory. That cheating slobber knocker, it's heinous, it's sick. And I think we just try again. Basically, we have to make it to Whiscash at full health, which means we have to either crit Milotic or flinch it off of Rock Slide. And we can confirm that because Earthquake does, again, one-shot Sea King. Out comes Milotic, Rock Slide flinches, we'll switch to Earthquake for the guaranteed accuracy. And now we should survive a hit from Whiscash, or we can critically hit and one-shot it. Wow, that's what I call a champion sweep right there. And as we get ready for Poke WrestleMania 25, a quick recap of Onix's performance here in Pokemon Invasive Species. Probably a lot better than any of you thought he would do. I can tell you right now, way better than I thought he would do. But fighting our way through events like Survivor Series back at Sutopolis, hashtag Sutopolis Survivor Series. No SummerSlam at Slateport City this time around. Wally will show us next time. We'll see. And yes, you see that correctly on screen. Onix contracted Poke Rust, something I completely forgot existed. It kind of makes sense because Onix has been getting some pretty darn good level ups. At 7 hours 37 minutes, can we sub 8 hours? Well, only one way to find out. First up of the 5 final fights is Dark-type trainer Sydney. Mightyena goes down to Rock Slide Earthquake combo. The Sharpedo is a one-shot with Earthquake, good because it has Surf. Rock Slide deals great damage to character and we get hit by Cotton Spore, still faster, take it out with Double Edge. The Double Edge bulldozes Absol, whom refuses to attack us. As Shiftry comes out, unfortunately, goes for a double team right away, and that proves to be the bane of our existence as we just can't finish it off as we get chipped away with extra sensory. I gotta say, that wasn't a bad first try. I thought Sharpedo was going to annihilate us. Now, just in case you have way more faith in Onix than I do, as we make our way through this failed attempt here, and miss Sharpedo with an Earthquake somehow, we get taken out quite easily by Surf. So for our next real attempt, we're gonna slap on the Soft Sand to buff the damage of Earthquake even more because we absolutely have to one-shot that Sharpedo. Well, we take out Mightyena and the Sharpedo, thanks Soft Sand. Here in Gen 3, Soft Sand buffs ground moves by 10%. And well, here's a bit of karma for Shiftry, Double Team does not help at all. Critical hit, Double Edge, one-shots, we beat Sydney with full health, that's the kind of stuff I like to see. Next up is Phoebe, the troll of the Elite Four. What will she do? How many times do we have to reset to curse? Well, there's our first one. Well, on the second attempt, Dusclops goes for Future Sight, giving us a free knockout with the Rock Slide Earthquake combo. Dusclops 2 hits us with Confuse Ray, but we have a Person Berry and take it out with Earthquake. Bayonet number 1's a one-shot with Earthquake. Sableye gets crit by Earthquake. And Bayonet 2 receives a double-up critical hit. Well, that went a lot better than expected. Alright, Glacia's up next, no playing around here, because most of her team has double super effective moves against us. Luckily for us, we are super effective against her entire team, courtesy of good old-fashioned Rock Slide. Okay, so basically we have to flinch Walrein. We don't one-shot it, but we do flinch. Glacia heals, but 2 Earthquakes have something to say about that. I have to admit, I didn't think we'd defeat her on the first try because Rock Slide does have a 10% chance to miss, and I was expecting that to happen at the most inopportune of times, several times in a row. Not gonna complain about that, though. In fact, we're gonna go slap Drake around. Let's get to it. Surprisingly, Shelgon goes for Dragon Claw right away. Well, that's fine, no speed drop. Flygon goes down to 2 Double Edges, thankfully no paralysis off a Dragon Breath. Flygon 2 slips Insane Attack and brings us to 67 health before going down. Rock Slide one-shots Altaria after missing the first time. Rock Slide deals great damage to Salamence. And we survive Dragon Claw with 3 health and we don't miss. Yo, go Onix, man. Bro must really want that Poke Heavyweight Gold. Alright, next up is the champion, Steven Stone. Can we end his reign of terror? Well, the odds are certainly stacked against us here. Both fossils are double super effective. I guess Aggron has Solar Beam too, but we're not worried about that one. Aggron is usually the wet fart of this team. And leading off with Skarmory is usually pretty hard because it likes going for Toxic right away, but thankfully we have Screech and Rock Slide, a strategy, a 1-2 punch that's been great this entire run. And that's exactly what we're going to lead off with here. Pecha Berry cures Toxic the first time, but the second one does connect. Might as well see how much damage we do to the rest of the team. Speaking of damage on Skarmory is way better than expected. Aggron goes down to Earthquake. Armaldo actually is a one-shot with Rock Slide. I'm pleasantly surprised. Cradilly finishes us off. Yeah, we're gonna need Iron Tail. Thankfully, I grabbed the TM from Meteor Falls. I really don't like that move, but it's better that we at least have that as an option for Cradilly than having nothing at all. I guess we're gonna have to hope we hit Claydol with Iron Tail. And on this attempt here, we're making great progress in this battle, and unfortunately, as we make our way to Cradilly, turns out that we need something else before we make it to this point. Either a critical hit or we get there at full health, otherwise Cradilly is going to take us out in one shot. Although that could just be wishful thinking on my behalf. Now, something else that Skarmory likes to do is set up Toxic, even if we only have one Pokemon on our team. That's just a little Gen 3 AI quirk. Toxic is capable of missing as well. And not only that, but the super effective move Skarmory has against us, Steel Wing, gets the same type of attack bonus, but it also has a small chance to miss. Aggron, I was very confident about. That will never be troublesome for us. I mean, Aggron looks cool, but man, it's so bad in Gen 3, at least here in these challenges it is. And it turns out, believe it or not, that with high enough health, we can survive one hit from same-type Giga Drain from Cradilly, but it's kind of a moot point. Yeah, I think we're gonna need a flinch or a critical hit. And this attempt coming up here, not only does Screech hit, but we crit Skarmory for the one-shot. Obligatory mention of Aggron. Goodbye, sir. Armaldo continues to be a consistent one-shot with Rock Slide. Love to see it. By God, KO on Cradilly! Oh, by golly, that's one shot on Metagross! We got a real exciting back and forth here with Screech missing, Light Screen being set up for no reason, Earthquake dealing way less damage than you would think, Iron Tail dealing fantastic damage. All the right things for the recipe for this grand old-fashioned slobber knocker. And despite those odds, it takes a critical hit from Iron Tail to TKO Claydol. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. That's the end of the reign of terror of the Steven Stone regime. 6 KOs, Dwayne of the Rock Onix has KO'd that entire stable and won the World Heavyweight Hoenn Championship. Say that 3 times fast, I dare you. Oh man, oh, I had a lot of fun with this voiceover. You know, I gotta say, Onix was pretty darn good. Now, if you're new here, just know that although we hit level 80 at the very end of the final Pokemon, I don't count that if we level up off the final Pokemon, because it has no bearing on the impact of the run. Like, if we leveled up off of Metagross, yeah, I would count that, because that would give us a bit more oomph against the rest of the team. But no, I see no need to count the final level. When it contributes nothing to the run, actually, it kind of harms the run by giving us additional text boxes and wasting just a smidgen of time. Speaking of time, we'll get to that hit in just a second. Onix clocks in. The game says level 80. No, it's level 79. I am so happy for Onix right now, though that's almost assuredly because of the Poké-Rest buffs. How about that time were we able to sub 8 hours? Gotta say, aside from Steven, the fights didn't take all that long, and oh yeah, 7 hours 55 minutes? Well, that makes our protagonist very easy to rank here. Level 79, C tier, 7 hours 55 minutes, C tier. Onix is C tier. C is for contract, as in it's in Dwayne's contract to never lose. I guess it's only fitting that because he likes those in his contracts that he managed to contract Poké-Rest as well. Next up on Pokemon Invasive Species, we're going back to Pokemon Fire Red as we attempt to beat the entire game, not the post-game, with a single Poochyena. I actually had that run complete. I have a few runs complete, and that run was pretty fun, and gotta say, Dark-type not existing in Kanto makes that little guy's journey quite interesting, but I guess you have to check it out when that episode airs. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you at the next one. Later.